Boys enter the house. Boys enter the house. Boys, and with them the idea of boys, ideas lead-in, reductive, and flexible, enter the house. Boys, 2 of them, wound in hospital packaging. Boys with infant pattern baldness, slung in the arms of parents. Boys dreaming of breasts, enter the house. Twin boys, kettles on the boil. Boys in hideous vinyl knapsacks that young couples from Edison, New Jersey wear on their shirt fronts. Knapsacks coated with baby saliva and milk vomit, enter the house. 2 boys, one striking the other with a rubberized hot dog, enter the house. 2 boys, one of them striking the other with a willow switch about the head and shoulders, the other crying, enter the house. Boys enter the house, speaking nonsense. Boys enter the house, calling for their mother.
Mommy!
On a Sunday in May, a day might nearly describe as perfect, an ice cream truck comes slowly down the lane, chimes inducing salvation, and children run after it. Not long after which boys dig a hole in the backyard and bury their younger sister's dolls 2 feet down so that they will never find these dolls and these dolls will rot in hell. After which boys will enter the house. Boys, trailing after their father like he is the second goddamn coming of Christ goddamn Almighty, enter the house. Repair to the basement to watch baseball. Boys enter the house, site of devastation, and repair immediately to the kitchen, where they mix lighter fluid, vanilla pudding, drain opening lye, balsamic vinegar, blued food coloring, calamine lotion, cottage cheese, ants, a plastic lizard, one of them received in their Christmas stocking, tacks, leftover mashed potatoes, Spam, frozen lemon beans, and chocolate syrup in a medium-sized saucepan and heat over a low flame until thick. Afterwards, transferring the contents of the saucepan into a pre-mixed lasagna dish, baking the pre-mixed lasagna dish in the oven for 19 minutes before attempting to persuade their sister that they should eat the mixture. Later, they smash 3 family heirlooms, the last a glass egg intentionally, in a 2.5-hour stretch, whereupon they are sent to their bedrooms until freed, in each case 13 minutes after. Boys enter the house, starchy and pressed flannel shirts and flannel pants that itch so bad, fresh from Sunday school instruction. Blonde and brown locks, respectively, plastered down, but even so, with a number of cowlicks prudent at odd angles, disconsolate and humbled, uncertain if boyish things, such as shooting their neighbor's dog with a pump-action BB gun, and gagging the fat boy up the street with a bandana, and showing their shriveled boy penises to their younger sister, are concepted from the commandment to love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. Boys enter the house in baseball gear. Only one of the boys can hit. In their spikes and mismatched tube tops that smell like Stilton cheese, boys enter the house in soccer gear. And soon after, tossing a lacrosse ball lightly in the living room, they destroy a lamp. One boy enters the house in sporting basketball clothes, the other wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. One boy enters the house bleeding profusely and is taken out to get stitches. The other watches. Boys enter the house at the end of term carrying report cards, sneak around the house like spies of foreign nationality, looking for a place to hide their report cards for the time being, under a toaster, in a medicine cabinet. Boys with acne enter the house and squeeze and prod large skin blemishes in front of their sister. Boys with acne treatment products hidden about their persons enter the house. Boys, standing just up the street, sneak cigarettes behind a willow in the L's yard, wave smoke away from the natural fibers, hack terribly, experience nausea, then enter the house. Boys enter the house having masturbated in a variety of locales. Boys enter the house having masturbated in train station bathrooms, in forests, in beach houses, in football bleachers, at night under the stars, in cars, under a blanket, in the shower, backstage, on a plane. The boys masturbate constantly.
Boys enter the house, go to their rooms, and remove sexually explicit magazines from hidden stashes, put on loud music, and feel despair.
Boys enter the house worried. They argue.
That's my shirt! Mom! She has my shirt on!
The boys are ugly. They are failures. They will never be loved. They enter the house.
Boys enter the house and kiss their mother, who feel differently now they have outgrown her.
Boys enter the house carrying cases of beer. Boys enter the house very worried now. Didn't know more worry as possible. Boys enter the house carrying controlled substances, neither having told the other that he is carrying a controlled substance, though an intoxicated posture seems appropriate under the circumstances. Boys enter the house, weeping and hear weeping around them. Boys enter the house, embarrassed, silent, anguished, keening, and afflicted, angry, woeful, grief-stricken. Boys enter the house on vacation and argue bitterly about politics. Other subjects are no longer discussed.
Trump 2020. Oh.
One boy supporting the Maoist insurgency in a certain Southeast Asian country, one believing that to change the system you need to work inside it. One boy threatens to beat the living shit out of the other, refuses creme brulee, though it created by his mother in order to keep the peace. One boy writes home and thereby enters the house only through mail slot. Boys enter the house on vacation and announce future professions.
I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a lawyer.
Boys enter house on vacation and change their mind about professions.
Actually, I'm gonna be a stripper. Actually, I'm gonna be a brand ambassador. Have you ever heard of Monet?
Boys enter the house several weeks apart. Boys enter the house on days of heavy rain. Boys enter the house in different calendar years. Boys don't enter the house at all, except as ghostly after images of younger selves. Boys enter the house. Boys enter the house. Boys enter the house. Boys hold open the threshold, awesome threshold that had welcomed them when they haven't even been able to welcome themselves, that threshold which had welcomed them when they had to be taken in. Here it is, tarnished knocker. Here is its euphonious bell. Here's where die boys had to sand die down door because it never would hang right in the frame. Here are the scuff marks from when boys were on the wrong side of the door demanding. Here's them when they were once milk bottles from the milkman. Here's where the newspaper always landed. Here the mail slot. Here's the light on the front step, illuminated. Here's where the boys are standing as that beloved man is carried out. Boys, no longer boys, exit.